One question, madam, पैसे मिलेंगे क्या? So see, money is what really matters. Capital is what really matters in the startup ecosystem. And today we have a very distinguished panel with us, and I'm very excited to be moderating this panel for the benefit of everyone sitting in this room, and I'll be asking them a few questions on your behalf. So I start off with Dr. Apurva Ranjan Sharma. Apurva ji, we have been hearing that you are kind of a guru in this particular space and have been played a very pivotal role in terms of even setting up the first incubator. So from that point of view, my first question to you is that what according to you needs to be done to scale up India in terms of the number of startups that we have, as we stand today at number 3, but the gap between China and India is really very, very large. And if you think that we have to go to that level of China and surpass US in times to come, what do you think needs to be done? And from a government perspective, do you think that there has to be some regulatory changes that are required? So these are 2 questions for you to start the panel.
I'll say, if you really want to be the startup superpower, the most important role has to be played by the entrepreneur itself. And for that, the entrepreneurs have to identify, how they can disrupt the existing sectors and come out with ideas. That will bring the scale to the ecosystem. Today we have grown from few hundred startups to 1.6 lakh startups, but from here to million startup, it's very important for entrepreneurs to come out with various, take it as a challenge. I would like to say, one thing, ma'am. India is not a concentrated startup economy like US. You have value, you have taxes. India, you have startups coming from 600 plus districts. That's why it's important to identify the strength of Indian economy and sectors and businesses.
How is this going to solve challenges that are multifold? Because even if you're looking at a problem like waste, there are people at the end of it. Waste, for example, right? Sanitary pads, the way we dispose it, there's somebody picking up that waste that is exposed to it. Just because you throw something away doesn't mean it goes away. There are animals that are affected by it. We call them kachrawalas, but they are safai sathis. We are the kachrawalas because you're the one dumping the waste. They're the ones cleaning it up. So for them to be so affected by it, the health crisis, the way the animals ingest it, to not know what we're putting out, who it's affecting and who we're solving for. There are people at every level of what we're doing to this planet, and we have to solve for them. So I think community is a big part of when I look at climate change and sustainability. There's no way you're going to be able to solve it if you don't factor the way we impact people, especially as a country with 1.4 billion people.
And is your company using technology to leverage this purpose that you abide by?
We do. So we consult hospitality businesses, we consult travel businesses, we work with corporations to help their operations become a lot more sustainable. So yeah, we have digitalized quite a lot of what the companies do. But at the same time, sometimes it's about communication. Sometimes, it's just about messaging. It's about, are you greenwashing something that you're putting out? Because there were companies that just put a paper wrap on a plastic bottle and called it sustainable packaging. So really to get into the nitty-gritty of what is it that you're actually doing, who you're trying to solve for, is your consumer buying into the sustainability message that you're putting out? And also to make sure that you understand the long-term benefits of your company becoming sustainable on your own bottom line. Because there's no supply chain on a dead planet. There's no business on a dead planet. The way we're consuming our resources right now, if you want to be in the long game, you have to learn how to maximize your